Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Balanced Vibes podcast. I am your host, Gersten. Thank you so much for being here today. What we're going to talk about today is why is it so hard to stick with a program? Because sometimes I get this question, and I actually just had a conversation about it recently with somebody who said that, I was doing keto for a while, and then I did this other program for a while, and they worked. It was all fun and good, but then I just stopped being motivated. I kind of fell off the wagon. Everything went downhill and sounded like hell. Well, downhill. And now I just don't know what to do because I just can't stick with anything. So I want to give you, my thoughts on that topic today and talk about why it might be that you are not able to stick with the program that you have chosen. Before that, make sure that you are a member of my Fit and Fuel Facebook group. We have a lot of fun there and have a challenge coming up there soon. And I go there live every single week, 2 or 3 times a week, share a lot of information there, how to hit your protein, how to do workouts properly, some meal ideas sometimes, and then also a lot of client success stories, because I like to give people shout outs who have really accomplished something amazing, and I like to inspire others. I'm really, really health focused. The entire group is very, very health focused. So this is not a place to do like extreme diets. No, we don't do that. It's not a place to do extreme weight loss, fat loss in like 20 days. We don't do that. Our approach in the group is much more health focused. It's more like muscle building focused. It's not only about weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. Although if you have that goal, I totally respect that. I think a lot of people really genuinely do want and need to lose weight as well. But this is not the only thing. I really want to emphasize the importance of muscle building for strength and longevity, hormonal health, and all that. So I try to keep the group very like empowering, strength focused, and this is where I personally found like it was a mindset shift that allowed me to get out of this like crazy years and years. I would even say like a decade worth of like under eating and over exercising, and to really realize eventually that no, it's actually so much cooler to build strength and get strong, and my body is healthier and my mind is healthier. It's really cool. So this is kind of the approach that I've gotten taken with the Facebook group as well. So if this sounds good to you, make sure that you join the group. It's called Fit and Fueled. And of course, you can find the link everywhere where I am: Instagram, YouTube, show notes, Facebook. It's everywhere. All right, so let's dive into today's topic, which is why is it so hard to stick with the program if you have a weight loss, fat loss goal, which is what most women have. So first of all, I want to say that lifestyle change is going to be uncomfortable. So we cannot expect that everything's going to be super easy, right? Super smooth. I don't have to make any changes. And suddenly my pants just start fitting looser and I put on this really beautiful looking muscle and my health improves and I didn't have to do anything. So obviously it doesn't work this way. So everything we want to accomplish in life and body composition change is no different. We have to get uncomfortable. We have to make some changes. But there's a difference between something being like extremely miserable, absolutely miserable, versus just being hard, right? Because we can do hard things, but I don't think that we're supposed to do miserable things. And honestly, I think that a lot of times where people are not able to stick with the plan is just that the plan can be overly restrictive and unreasonable and just makes them miserable. It makes them feel like I cannot stick with it. This is too much. I'm always feeling fatigued. I'm always feeling hungry. And I think this is one of the big reasons why we cannot stick with those diets and programs, is that they are just either unreasonable or they are just way too complicated. And it's hard to stay on track with all of the variables that are changing all the time. But like I said, even when you take a kind of like a softer approach, you're not changing like a million things. You don't track like 17 million different things all the time. Even then, it's going to be hard. So lifestyle change is always going to be hard. But my goal is to make it doable so that, yes, you're going to have to put some effort into it, but you're not going to be miserable. So let's talk about a couple of things then. And I actually have kind of two categories here that, in my opinion, make a diet unreasonable. So that was the first category. And the second one, it was just too complicated, because I see that these two things are the reasons, the diet or the program is just unreasonable or it's way too complicated. These are the two reasons why people cannot stick with the program, right? So let's talk about the, in my opinion, unreasonable stuff. So for example, no carbs, right? If the program says no carbs, I can't tell you how many people have had, told me that they were doing keto, did so well, it was wonderful, it was awesome, but I'm not doing this anymore. It was just unreasonable. I couldn't go out, I couldn't eat out, I felt like shit, I didn't recover, hair falling out, hormonal issues, it just stopped working for me. And that's what I'm saying, it's unreasonable from the lifestyle perspective, right? Lifestyle perspective, because if you can never go out, if you can never eat with other people, I mean, do we really think it's actually doable to never eat a slice of bread again? Or if bread is not your thing, do you think it's reasonable to never eat a piece of chocolate or a little bit of ice cream or like birthday cake? I don't think so. I don't think this is reasonable. So cutting out like carbohydrates completely, I think is one of the reasons why many people just cannot stick with a certain diet, because this is what they're required to do. It's just not doable. Also, other foods or food groups, right? If there's like, you can never have, I don't know, dairy again, and you really like dairy. So again, it comes down to, right, like what is important for you? What are some of your favorite things? And now if the diet says that you cannot have that thing anymore, it's not going to last. It's not going to last. So I remember very well when I told myself all the time, you cannot have chocolate. What did I do every 3 weeks? Binged my face off on chocolate, because this is what I tried to avoid so much. So again, it was unreasonable. So maybe it's a plan that says no dairy, and you absolutely love yogurt, you absolutely love cheese, and you're like, oh, like how do I even get through this thing? It's just too much. Like, and it's unreasonable. It doesn't match your lifestyle. So it's probably not going to last. And this is probably one of the reasons why you're not able to stick with the diet. It just didn't work with the lifestyle at all. Now, another unreasonable thing, in my opinion, is meal plans. So expecting that everybody's going to follow the same meal plan, it's not going to work. It may work a couple of weeks, 3 weeks maybe. And sometimes people are even excited. They're like, oh, give me a meal plan. I want to follow a plan. I want to take all the guesswork out. But after they do it like 2-3 weeks, it starts to feel like, but somebody else did this, and I don't like this. This is not my style at all. I don't want to eat tilapia. I don't want to eat, I don't know, whatever, right? So why do I have to follow a plan? And I see like a lot of falling off in when we have meal plan, right? That happens too. I remember one of my friends told me that she had also followed a plan like this, and she had made herself all these meals, like exactly, it had to be portioned out for 7 days, every week, like for each weekday. And she said, to this day, and that's like months and months later, I have those frozen meals in my freezer because I stopped wanting them. It was just like, it wasn't what I actually wanted to eat. I was told to eat that. At first I was excited because the weight came off and it was fun and cool, but then it just started becoming too much because I could not eat what I wanted, right? So giving people meal plans, especially if they're pretty strict meal plans, in my opinion, it's unreasonable. Now, also pre-packaged meals and snacks that you can only buy from like certain companies' website, and they're pushing you their diet, and they say that you have to buy our products. Also, I don't think this works. Also, this is not real food, right? For the most part, we want to eat real food, not like packaged stuff and like diet approved snacks. It doesn't make you feel good, and you probably don't want to stick with it for too long. Another thing that makes a diet or fat loss program unreasonable, in my opinion, is that if you can never eat out, you have to be extremely strict. And don't get me wrong, if you eat out all the time, then it's not going to work. You're not going to lose body fat. You're not going to get the results that you want to get if you eat out like 5 days a week. How are you getting your results? Like, we all know that eating at restaurants, we're taking in way more calories than we do when we eat at home. So, but if you've been now told that you cannot ever do this, or you have to bring your Tupperware and your food scale to a restaurant, then that doesn't sound very good to me at all. And I personally would never do this. When I first started my cut and I learned about macros, I was actually excited to see that, oh, I can still eat out twice a week. It's cool. And I'm still leaning out. So you have to have a little bit of flexibility there. But of course, you cannot eat out all the time. The next thing that makes a diet plan or fat loss plan unreasonable is overtraining. And again, talking from my friend's experience, for a while, she did something where she was required to do 2 cardio workouts a day. I'm not kidding you. And 2 cardio workouts a day, it's really exhausting on the body. 2 workouts, any workouts, lifting and cardio, I think it's exhausting for most people who have a life outside of these workouts too. If you're a professional athlete or CrossFit athlete, yeah, that's probably your lifestyle. That's what you do. But most of us, we have jobs and we have responsibilities. Many of you have kids. So doing 2 workouts a day, or even like working out every single day, if it's like an intense workout, it's probably not going to work. And again, at first, it may sound like a really good idea, especially January 1st. Let's do it. Let's get those 7 workouts in every single week. But then you are starting to notice how you're getting tired, you're sore all the time, you're achy all the time, not recovering. The motivation goes away because you're just feeling so uncomfortable all the time, and you're not going to stick with it. So just starting out super big is in general a big mistake, in my opinion, because if you go from 0 workouts a week to 7, it's not going to last. It's not going to last. So why not to start with less? Start with something that you can stick with, even if it's 2 strength workouts a week and a 30-minute walk a day, right? Maybe you have to start there. That's cool. Maybe you have to start with just walking if you're not walking at all right now. So keeping your training, your exercise normal, not overdoing this, is one way that makes your workout plan more sustainable, but it will be unreasonable if you're pushing yourself too hard and make yourself overtrain all the time. Okay, so now let's talk about the second part. Some diet plans or weight loss plans, whatever you want to call them, are just too complicated, just way too complicated. So, for example, there could be different macros for every day of the week. Well, maybe not every day of the week, but let's say there are 2 days when you're like low, and then 2 days when you're middle, and then 2 days when you're high, and I don't know what the last one would be. Right, and then you juggle and you play this Tetris every day, try to fit everything, and you're getting all kinds of stressed out. And you're like, how am I going to do this? And it just becomes too complicated, too many things to think about. Now, in my work, when I work with somebody and they are reverse dieting, they have to increase their calories. Honestly, they don't even have that many changes, right? They don't have to like fluctuate like high carbs and low carbs. But with somebody who is in a fat loss phase, yes, I do use carb cycling with them, and it is a little bit more complicated technique, but still, it is not like every day of the week we have different macros. It's easier than that. It shouldn't be that complicated, right? So if you always have to think, okay, today's Monday, I guess it's 60 grams of fat, and tomorrow is Tuesday, I guess it's 65, and then it goes to 68, and it comes back to 60. It's just so much. It's so much, and I know that I could never do this. This is just too much and too stressful. Extremely hard to stick with, and actually I'm not surprised that people fall off if they have like different goals for every single day. Now, the other thing that makes a program really, really complicated is that you have to measure absolutely everything. For example, exact grams of sugar, or exact grams of like soluble fiber and insoluble fiber, or or where did you get the fat? Like, was it this type of fat or the other type of fat? Like too detailed. I mean, we are not like bodybuilders here. I don't think anybody here is a listener is, or like super elite high level athlete. We don't need to get that specific. It's enough if we know that, okay, here's my fat goal, and I'm going to make sure that I get at least some of them from animal fats, because I'm a big fan of that for health purposes. But we don't have to measure exactly like how many grams did you get from red meat, how many grams did you get from olive oil, how many grams did you get from avocado. This is just too much, right? It's too overwhelming. And it becomes a full-time job to think about your food. And I don't want your food to become a full-time job. You have plenty of other things to do. Other things that make a program super complicated are the details when it comes to diet, right? Like overthinking, should I eat brown rice or white rice? Which one is better? And then you go and research, and what should I do, right? It's a small difference. Eat what you want. And I wouldn't say that one is so much like superior over the other. Or I've had people tell me that, in this plan, I was only told that I can only eat sweet potatoes and not regular. And I'm asking why, is there a reason? They don't know. No, I was just told that sweet potato is better. But I mean, is it really, right? I mean, of course, there can be small details. Maybe someone's blood sugar response is different, like one food versus another. But I'm talking about generally healthy people. We don't have to track every single detail. We don't have to overthink every single detail. So eat what you like. I think yellow potatoes, white potatoes are really great, really, really good. So let's not overthink that. Also, one thing that makes a program really overcomplicated is making people to stick with certain fasting windows. So it has to be 16 hours, right? It has to be, you can't be 15 and a half. Well, first of all, why are we stretching out this fasting for that long to begin with? I would say that most women do better if they don't fast that long. And now, obsessing over, was it 16 hours or 15 and a half? Or somebody has asked me like, did I break my fast if I drank coffee with cream? Oh my God, then we're going to overthink this. It does not have to be so complicated. Why don't we just have dinner, let's say 7 or 8 o'clock, and then have breakfast around 7 or 8 o'clock, right? So you have like 12 hours or so, right? Doesn't even have to be exactly 12. It can be 10, it can be 11, it can be 12. Again, it can be important for somebody who's dealing with blood sugar issues, has really, really high fasting glucose or like glucose numbers in general. They may have to maybe finish their meal a little bit earlier, in the day, dinner a little bit earlier, so that they have a little bit. But this is a special case, right? I'm not talking about these cases right now. I'm talking about a generally healthy person. You don't need to do 16-hour fast. You just don't. And for most people, it does more. Most women, let me correct that. Most women, it does more harm than good. And now obsessing over like every minute, like how long was my fasting window? It's not worth it. You don't need to do this. Eat your dinner, do some things, whatever you do before bed, just like digest a little bit, go to sleep, wake up, eat, right? 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, I don't know, something like that. You're going to be fine. And then also one thing that really makes programs really complicated is that when you have workouts that have to be done on specific days, and I've seen it, let's say like, oh, Monday, Tuesday, we do one type of workout. Maybe it's a circuit training. Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to lift. And then Friday, we're going to do cardio. And Saturday, we do yoga. And then right? For every day of the week, there's a assigned workout that you have to do. But what if it doesn't work for you, right? You can't do HIIT on Monday, or you don't have time for long cardio on Friday, right? Or you cannot work out at all on Wednesdays. So not trying to push this workout in there when it doesn't actually fit, and making you do, first of all, so you don't need to do high intensity training and you don't need to do long cardio if you don't want to. Why don't we just stick with the basics? Let's lift weights 3 days a week and walk every single day. What days of the week they are, you choose, right? Of course, I prefer that you have a rest day in between. That would be best because you recover better. But maybe you are traveling, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week, and you have to get 2 workouts in back-to-back days. Okay, then we just do that. It's okay, right? So don't overthink this. Don't think that somebody tells you that has to happen exactly Wednesdays at 5 p.m. No, it doesn't. Work out when you can, when it fits your schedule, and then you have so much more freedom, and you don't have to like overthink everything. So overall, keep it simple. I think one key to sticking with the program is that simplify things as much as possible. It's not possible to simplify everything. It's not possible to eliminate all the tracking. It's not possible to eliminate all the work. Like I said, you still have to do the work. And in my coaching, most people are tracking. Not everybody. I have a couple of people who are not tracking their food. They are just using hand measurements, for example, right, for their protein and for their vegetables and all that. But most people are tracking. So yes, in my work, like I said, you can do it differently. But with me personally, it is, tracking your macronutrients and fiber, right? And then do 3 workouts a week. Make sure that you get your steps in. And then I will ask some things like, how many hours of sleep did you get? Especially if I know that the person doesn't sleep very well, I may add that extra thing for accountability. Hey, let's make sure that you are actually 8 hours in bed. There are some things that are like, case to case basis, I guess you could say. But generally speaking, I try to keep things simple, and I don't want to make people overthink like, oh, is brown rice a lot better? Should I have that? Or is this food good? Or should I have grapefruit instead of orange? Or is Wednesday a good day for lifting? It's just too much. It's just too much. So I try to keep it as simple as possible so that you can actually complete the program and feel good and get the results that you want. Sometimes trying to be too perfectionistic about stuff is exactly what's going to ruin everything for you, because perfectionism is the enemy of good enough. Really, it really is. So it's so much better if you stick with the basics, do what you have to do, right? Do the basics, whatever what absolutely needs to get done, and then you will get results as long as you are consistent. Okay, I think this is all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any topic ideas. I definitely want to hear from them. And until see you, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.